Hey guys, Alex at HOGWORKZ, and today we're going to be talking about our Trilogy saddlebag LED lights. These are going to do a run function, brake, and turn. They are going to fit your 14 to 23 standard or stretch saddlebags. They are going to come in chrome with red lens, chrome with smoked lens, black with red lens, or black with smoked lens. It's going to come with the wire harness. It's going to come with some wire clips. It's pretty quick installation, no tools required, and as always they are going to be backed by lifetime warranty here at HOGWORKZ. So we'll go ahead and get into it now. All right, so the first thing we'll want to do is go ahead and take the saddlebags off. Go ahead and remove your seat. Pull the side covers off. We're gonna go ahead and run the harness. You can see on the harness here, there's two different ends. There's a male end, which is this one here, and there's a female. And what you wanna do is the female plug end is gonna run on the left side of the motorcycle, and the male end is gonna run on the right side. The left side being the clutch side, you're gonna use this one, the female plug, and then on the right side, being the brake side, you're gonna use the male plug. The reason for that is it defines which side light goes on which side. Here you can see the saddlebag light is gonna sit on the saddlebag like this. The wire is gonna be to the inside of the bag. On the clutch side, it has this male end, which is gonna connect to this female end. So if you were to run this wire, you would end up running into a situation where you have two female ends, which would not work for you. So you can go ahead and run the wire down through this little access hole, and then it should poke out right down there. We'll go ahead and grab onto it, pull it through, and then just kind of set it in place where it's going to go, which is going to be right up here. So you have two options of what you can kind of do. You can use the provided clips, which would go, you know, under here like this. It's got a sticky back on it, and you can run the wire inside the clip like that. All these Tourings, they also have spots here on the saddlebag mount itself where you could zip tie it. So you could quite literally snip those zip ties off there, run this wire, zip tie it up. So that's kind of just installer preference, whether you like to use the clips or whether you like to zip tie it. We're gonna go ahead and just throw a couple clips on here, and then you want it to end up just in front of the saddlebag mounting screw. Before you stick these on, make sure you clean the surface good. I just put a little rubbing alcohol on this towel, so make sure that's cleaned up good. And then we're gonna go ahead and put it on something like this so that we can snap it in place. So, but on the back side, pull off the sticky protector. We're going to place it right up here. So once we have the wire clip in place, we'll go ahead and tuck our wire in there like that. Go ahead and close it down. You hear it click. One thing you do want to keep in mind when you're using these is you want this tab facing the outside, because the way these work is you push it down like that, it tightens it. To loosen it, if you ever want to take them off, you want to be able to grab this tab. So it's easier when it's on the outside as opposed to if it was on the inside, you know, you'd have to kind of come around this way and then pull this that way. Just keep that in mind, the locking tab, you want it facing the outside. Go ahead and stick this guy on, wire through. And you gotta just want to leave the wire hang up a little bit just like that. And then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. On the brake side, we're gonna go ahead and run this down underneath here. We're gonna come behind the support. Something like that. Then we're gonna add some of the sticky tabs here, here, over here, maybe one underneath here, and get the wire tightened up. All right, so if you did this correctly, you have your left side or clutch side light. The wires going to the inside of the motorcycle, which has the male end plug. And now you've ran your wires from your harness and you have a female. So this plugs right into here, and then this will go on the bag like this. That's how you know that you ran your wire harness correctly. So same thing over here. You've got male plug from the harness. You have female plug from the light. You have the light, it's gonna go on the bag this way. You have the wire exiting the housing to the inside. So this would be the way to tell that you have hooked up your harness and ran the wires correctly. So now we'll go ahead and put the saddlebag back on. And one thing you wanna make sure of is that you have your wire up like this. You don't want it to get tucked down under the bag. So we'll go ahead and flip this up. All right, so we are ready to stick on our light. So what I want to do is close the saddlebag. Make sure that you've cleaned this surface real good. We're gonna go ahead and peel off the sticky protector here. And then where you place this at, you kind of want it to be just under the lid. And this is why it's important to do it with the lid closed, because if you do it with the lid open, you have a chance of putting it too high on the saddlebag and then it will hit your lid when it closes. So just line it up, you know, and then go ahead and give it a good firm push in. Give her a little look-see. So then once you have that done, you can go ahead and connect your wiring here. And depending on how much you have left here, you may want to zip tie, you know, once you plug this in, kind of zip tie this and clean it up and kind of stick it down in there. Just make sure it's secured so that, you know, on the inside right there is your tire. So we'll go ahead and make our connection. And then do something like this. And then what I'm going to do is wrap a zip tie around this just to clean up a little bit of this extra wiring. If you have room under your seat, you can always pull this, the actual harness, you know, back up under here. But I've found that it's nice to be able to disconnect this when you want to take your saddlebags off. So if you have, you know, your connection way up here, kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another, just really just on your preference. So go ahead and tidy this up here. Then with the rest of this, we can just kind of tuck it down in there, just like that. We'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side here. Get that lined up, make sure our wire's out of the way. Open this up. And go ahead and make sure the back is cleaned off nice and good here. We'll take off our protective film here. And I like to just kind of set the wire up kind of where it's going, just so it's out of the way. And then get them lined up here. Say maybe an 1/8 inch of a gap between the lid and the top of the light housing. Go ahead and give it a little push. And then we'll go ahead and make our connection. And then we'll go ahead and tidy up this wire with our zip tie. And then we'll tuck this down in there. And then we'll go ahead and up here under the seat, we're going to make our harness connection. So what you're going to have here is your rear 6-pin OEM connection. This controls all your rear lighting back here. So what we want to do is disconnect that. And then you can see on the harness, it has one of each end. So we're basically just going to put this in between the OEM 6-pin. Some people call it an adapter, some people call it a splitter, these ends here. So you really can't mess this one up. It can only go in one way. Put that guy in there, this guy in here. Kind of tuck this down like that. I didn't put the side covers on. Supposed to put those on before we put the bag on. Oh well, we can still check them and make sure they work here. All right, so we got running. We got a left turn. We got a right turn. And we got a brake.